Can't go yet, TP said. Wait. We looked around the corner of the house and watched the carriages go away. Now, TP said. He took Quentin up and we ran down to the corner of the fence and watched them pass. There you go, TP said. See that one with the glass in it? Look at him. He laying in there. See him? Come on, Luster said. I'm going to take this here ball down home where I won't lose it. No, sir, you can't have it. If them men sees you with it, they'll say you stole it. Hush up now. You can't have it. What business you got with it? You can't play no ball. Frony and TP were playing in the dirt by the door. TP had lightning bugs in a bottle.
How did y'all get back out?
Frony said.
We've got company.
Caddy said.
Father said for us to mind me tonight. I expect you and TP will have to mind me too.
I'm not going to mind you, Jason said. Frony and TP don't have to either.
They will if I say so,
Caddy said.
Maybe I won't say for them to. TP don't mind nobody,
Frony said.
Is they started the funeral yet?
What's a funeral? Jason said. Didn't Mammy tell you not to tell them, Verse said.
Where they moans?
Phony said.
They moan 2 days on Sis Beulah Clay.
They moaned at Dilsey's house. Dilsey was moaning. When Dilsey moaned, Luster said, hush, and we hushed. And then I began to cry, and Blue howled under the kitchen steps. Then Dilsey stopped, and we stopped.
Oh,
Caddy said.
That's niggers. White folks don't have funerals.
Mammy said us not to tell them, Phony, Verse said.
Tell them what?
Caddy said. Dilsey moaned, and when it got to the place, I began to cry, and Blue howled under the steps.
Luster,
Phony said in the window.
Take them down to the barn. I can't get no cooking done with all that racket. That hound, too. Get them out in here.
I ain't going down there, Luster said. I might meet Pappy down there. I seen him last night, waving his arms in the barn.
I like to know why not,
Phony said.
White folks dies, too. Your grandmammy dead as any nigger can get, I reckon. Dogs are dead.
Caddy said.
And when Nancy fell in the ditch and Roscoe shot her and the buzzards came and undressed her.
The bones rounded out of the ditch where the dark vines were in the black ditch into the moonlight, like some of the shapes had stopped. Then they all stopped, and it was dark, and when I stopped to start again, I could hear Mother and feet walking fast away, and I could smell it. Then the room came, but my eyes weren't shut. I didn't stop. I could smell it. T.P. unpinned the bedclothes. Hush, he said, shh. But I could smell it. T.P. pulled me up, and he put on my clothes fast. Hush, Benji, he said. We going down to our house. You want to go down to our house where Frony is? Hush, shh. He laced my shoes and put my cap on, and we went out. There was a light in the hall. Across the hall we could hear Mother. Shh, Benji, T.P. said. We'll be out in a minute. A door opened, and I could smell it more than ever, and a head came out. It wasn't Father. Father was sick there. Can you take him out of the house? That's where we're going, T.P. said. Dilsey came up the stairs.
Hush,
she said.
Hush. Take him down home, T.P. Frony fixing him a bed. You all look after him now. Hush, Benji. Go on with T.P.
She went where we could hear Mother. Better keep him there. It wasn't Father. He shut the door, but I could still smell it. We went downstairs. The stairs went into the dark, and T.P. took my hand, and we went out the door, out of the dark. Dan was sitting in the backyard howling. "He smell it," T.P. said. "Is that the way you found it out?" We went down the steps, where our shadows were. "I forgot your coat," T.P. said. "You ought to have had it, but I ain't going back." Dan howled. "Hush now," T.P. said. Our shadows moved, but Dan's shadow didn't move except to howl when he did. "I can't take you down home bellerin' like you is," T.P. said. "It was bad enough before you got that bullfrog voice. Come on." We went along the brick walk with our shadows. The pig pen smelled like pigs. The cows stood in the lot chewing at us. Dan howled. "You gonna wake up the whole town," T.P. said. "Can't you hush?" We saw Fancy eating by the branch. The moon shone on the water when we got there. "No, sir," T.P. said. "This too close. We can't stop here. Come on. Now just look at you. Got your whole leg wet. Come on here." Dan howled. The ditch came up out of the buzzing grass. The bones rounded out of the black vines. "Now," T.P. said, "bellow your head off if you want to. You got the whole night and a 20-acre pasture to bellow in." T.P. lay down in the ditch, and I sat down watching the bones where the buzzard ate Nancy, flapping black and slow and heavy out of the ditch. "I had it when we was down here before," Luster said. "I showed it to you. Didn't you see it? I took it out of my pocket, right here, and showed it to you."
Do you think buzzards are going to undress Muddy?
Caddy said.
You're crazy.
"You're a skizzard," Jason said. He began to cry.
You're a knobknot.
Caddy said. Jason cried. His hands were in his pockets. "Jason going to be a rich man," Birch said. "He holding his money all the time." Jason cried.
Now you've got him started.
Caddy said.
Hush up, Jason. How can buzzards get in where Muddy is? Father wouldn't let them. Would you let a buzzard undress you? Hush up now.
Jason hushed. "Phony said it was a funeral," he said.
Well, it's not.
Caddy said.
It's a party. Phony don't know anything about it. He wants your lightning bugs, T.P. Let him hold it a while.
T.P. gave me the bottle of lightning bugs.
I bet if we go around to the parlor window, we can see something.
Caddy said.
Then you'll believe me. I already knows.
Phony said.
I don't need to see.
"You better hush your mouth, Phony," Birch said. "Mama gonna whip you."
What is it?
Caddy said.
I knows what I knows.
Phony said.
Come on,
Caddy said.
let's go around to the front.
We started to go.
T.P. wants his lightning bugs.
Phony said.
Let him hold it a while longer, T.P.
Caddy said.
We'll bring it back. You all never caught them.
Phony said.
If I say you and T.P. can come too, will you let him hold it?
Caddy said.
Ain't nobody said me and T.P. got to mind you.
Phony said.
If I say you don't have to, will you let him hold it?
Caddy said.
All right.
Phony said.
Let him hold it, T.P. We're going to watch them moaning. They ain't moaning.
Caddy said.
I tell you it's a party. Are they moaning, Versh?
"We ain't going to know what they doing standing here," Birch said.
Come on.
Caddy said.
Phony and T.B. don't have to mind me, but the rest of us do. You better carry him, Versh. It's getting dark.
Verse took me up, and we went around the kitchen. When we looked around the corner, we could see the lights coming up the drive. TP went back to the cellar door and opened it. "You know what's down there?" TP said. "Soda water. I seen Mr. Jason come up with both hands full of them. Wait here a minute." TP went and looked in the kitchen door. Dilsey said,
"What are you peeping in here for? Where's Benji?"
"He out here," TP said.
"Go on and watch him."
Dilsey said.
"Keep him out of the house now."
"Yes'm," TP said. "Is they started yet?"
"You go on and keep that boy out of sight."
Dilsey said.
"I got all I can tend to."
A snake crawled out from under the house. Jason said he wasn't afraid of snakes, and Katie said that he was, but she wasn't, and Varsh said they both were, and Katie said to be quiet, like Father said. "You ain't got to start bellering now," TP said. "You want some of this sarsaparilla? It tickled my nose and eyes. If you ain't going to drink it, let me get to it," TP said. "All right, here it is. We better get another bottle while ain't nobody bothering us. You be quiet now." We stopped under the tree by the parlor windows. Verse set me down in the wet grass. It was cold. There were lights in all the windows.
"That's where Dumuddy is,"
Katie said.
"She's sick every day now. When she gets well, we're going to have a picnic." "I knows what I knows,"
Phony said. The trees were buzzing, and the grass.
"The one next to it is where we have the measles."
Katie said.
"Where do you and TP have the measles, Phony?" "Has them just wherever we is, I reckon,"
Phony said.
"They haven't started yet."
Katie said. "They're getting ready to start," TP said. "You stand right here now while I get that box so we can see in the window. Here, let's finish drinking this here sarsaparilla. It make me feel just like a squinch owl inside." We drank the sarsaparilla, and TP pushed the bottle through the lattice under the house and went away. I could hear them in the parlor, and I clawed my hands against the wall. TP drank the box. He fell down, and he began to laugh. He lay there laughing into the grass. He got up and dragged the box under the window, trying not to laugh. "I scared I'm going to holler," TP said. "Get on the box and see if they started."
"They haven't started because the band hasn't come yet."
Katie said.
"They ain't going to have no band."
Phony said.
"How do you know?"
Katie said.
"I knows what I knows."
Phony said.
"You don't know anything."
Katie said. She went to the tree.
"Push me up, Versh."
"Your pa told you to stay out that tree," Versh said.
"That was a long time ago."
Katie said.
"I expect he's forgotten about it. Besides, he said to mind me tonight. Didn't he say to mind me tonight?"
"I'm not going to mind you," Jason said. "Phony and TP are not going to either."
"Push me up, Versh."
Katie said. "All right," Versh said. "You the one going to get whipped, I ain't." He went and pushed Katie up into the tree to the first limb. We watched the muddy bottom of her drawers. Then we couldn't see her. We could hear the tree thrashing. "Mr. Jason said if you break that tree, he whip you," Versh said. "I'm going to tell on her, too," Jason said. The tree quit thrashing. We looked up into the still branches.
"What you seein'?"
Phony whispered. I saw them. Then I saw Katie with flowers in her hair and a long veil like shining wind. Caddy, caddy. Hush, T.P. said. They're going to hear you. Get down quick. He pulled me. Caddy, I clawed my hands against the wall. Caddy, T.P. pulled me. Hush, he said. Hush. Come on here quick. He pulled me on, Caddy. Hush up. Benji, you want him to hear you? Come on. Let's drink more of this sarsaparilla. Then we can come back if you hush. We better get one more bottle or we both be hollering. We can say Dan drank it. Mr. Quentin always saying he's so smart. We can say he's sarsaparilla dog, too. The moonlight came down the cellar stairs. We drank some more sarsaparilla. You know what I wish, T.P. said. I wish a bear would walk in that cellar door. You know what I do? I walk right up to him and spit in his eye. Give me that bottle to stop my mouth before I holler. T.P. fell down. He began to laugh, and the cellar door and the moonlight jumped away and something hit me. Hush up, T.P. said, trying not to laugh. Lord, they'll all hear us. Get up, T.P. said. Get up, Benji, quick. He was thrashing about and laughing, and I tried to get up. The cellar steps ran up the hill in the moonlight, and T.P. fell up the hill into the moonlight. And I ran against the fence, and T.P. ran behind me saying, Hush up, hush up. Then he fell into the flowers, laughing, and I ran into the box. But when I tried to climb onto it, it jumped away and hit me on the back of the head, and my throat made a sound. It made the sound again, and I stopped trying to get up. And it made the sound again, and I began to cry. But my throat kept on making the sound while T.P. was pulling me. It kept on making it, and I couldn't tell if I was crying or not. And T.P. fell down on top of me, laughing, and it kept on making the sound, and Quentin kicked T.P., and Caddy put her arms around me and her shining veil, and I couldn't smell trees anymore, and I began to cry.
Benji!
Caddy said.
Benji!
She put her arms around me again, but I went away.
What is it, Benji?
She said.
Is it this hat?
She took her hat off and came again, and I went away.
Benji!
She said.
What is it, Benji? What has Caddy done?
He don't like that prissy dress, Jason said. You think you're all grown up, don't you? You think you're better than anybody else, don't you, prissy?
You shut your mouth,
Caddy said.
You dirty little beast. Benji!
Just because you're 14, you think you're grown up, don't you? Jason said. You think you're something, don't you?
Hush, Benji,
Caddy said.
You'll disturb Mother. Hush.
But I didn't hush, and when she went away, I followed, and she stopped on the stairs and waited, and I stopped too.
What is it, Benji?
Caddy said. Tell Caddy.
Tell Caddy. She'll do it. Try.
Candace?
Mother said.
Yes'm.
Caddy said.
Why are you teasing him?
Mother said.
Bring him here.
We went to Mother's room, where she was lying with the sickness, with a cloth on her head.
What is the matter now?
Mother said.
Benjamin?
Benji.
Caddy said. She came again, but I went away.
You must have done something to him.
Mother said.
Why won't you let him alone so I can have some peace? Give him the box and please go on and let him alone.
Caddy got the box and set it on the floor and opened it. It was full of stars. When I was still, they were still. When I moved, they glinted and sparkled. I hushed. Then I heard Caddy walking, and I began again.
Benjamin,
Mother said.
come here.
I went to the door.
You, Benjamin.
Mother said. What is it now? Father said. Where are you going?
Take him downstairs and get someone to watch him, Jason.
Mother said.
You know I'm ill, yet you...
Father shut the door behind us. T.P., he said. Sir. T.P. sat downstairs. Benji's coming down. Father said, go with T.P. I went to the bathroom door. I could hear the water. Benji, T.P. said downstairs. I could hear the water. I listened to it. Benji, T.P. said downstairs. I listened to the water. I couldn't hear the water, and Caddy opened the door.
Why, Benji,
she said. She looked at me, and I went, and she put her arms around me.
Did you find Caddy again?
She said.
Did you think Caddy had run away?
Caddy smelled like trees. We went to Caddy's room. She sat down at the mirror. She stopped her hands and looked at me.
Why, Benji, what is it?
She said.
You mustn't cry. Caddy's not going away. See here,
she said. She took up the bottle and took the stopper out and held it to my nose.
Sweet. Smell. Good.
I went away, and I didn't hush, and she held the bottle in her hand looking at me.
Oh,
she said. She put the bottle down and came and put her arms around me.
So that was it. And you were trying to tell Caddy, and you couldn't tell her. You wanted to, but you couldn't, could you? Of course Caddy won't. Of course Caddy won't. Just wait till I dress.
Caddy dressed and took up the bottle again, and we went down to the kitchen.
Dilsey,
Caddy said.
Benji's got a present for you.
She stooped down and put the bottle in my hand.
Hold it out to Dilsey now.
Caddy held my hand out, and Dilsey took the bottle.
Well, I declare,
Dilsey said,
if my baby ain't give Dilsey a bottle of perfume. Just look here, Roscus.
Caddy smelled like trees.
We don't like perfume ourselves,
Caddy said. She smelled like trees.
Come on now.
Dilsey said.
You too big to sleep with folks. You a big boy now. 13 years old. Big enough to sleep by yourself in Uncle Maury's room.
Dilsey said. Uncle Mallory was sick. His eyes was sick in his mouth. Birch took his supper up to him on the tray. Mallory says he's going to shoot the scoundrel, Father said. I told him he'd better not mention it to Patterson beforehand. He drank.
Jason,
Mother said. Shoot who, Father? Quentin said. What's Uncle Mallory looking to shoot him for? Because he couldn't take a little joke, Father said.
Jason,
Mother said.
How can you? You'd sit right there and see Maury shot down in an ambush and laugh.
Then Mallory better stay out of ambush, Father said. Shoot who, Father? Quentin said. Who's Uncle Mallory going to shoot? Nobody, Father said. I don't own a pistol. Mother began to cry.
If you begrudge Maury your food, why aren't you man enough to say so to his face, to ridicule him before the children, behind his back?
Of course I don't, Father said. I admire Maury. He is invaluable to my own sense of racial superiority. I wouldn't swap Maury for a match team. And do you know why, Quentin? No, sir, Quentin said. Et ergo in Arcadia. I have forgotten the Latin for hay, Father said. There, he said. I was just joking. He drank and set the glass down and went to put his hand on Mother's shoulder.
It's no joke.
Mother said,
My people are every bit as well born as yours, just because Maurice's health is bad.
Of course, Father said, bad health is the primary reason for all life, created by disease within putrefaction into decay. Verse, sir, Verse said behind my chair, take the decanter and fill it.
And tell Dilsey to come and take Benjamin up to bed.
Mother said.
You a big boy,
Dilsey said.
Catty tired sleeping with you. Hush now so you can go to sleep.
The room went away, but I didn't hush. And the room came back, and Dilsey came and sat on the bed looking at me.
Ain't you going to be a good boy and hush?
Dilsey said.
You ain't, is you? See, can you wait a minute then?
She went away. There wasn't anything in the door. Then Caddy was in it.
Hush,
Caddy said.
I'm coming.
I hushed, and Dilsey turned back the spread, and Caddy got in between the spread and the blanket. She didn't take off her bathrobe.
Now,
she said.
Here I am.
Dilsey came with the blanket and spread it over her and tucked it around her.
He be gone in a minute,
Dilsey said.
I leave the light on in your room. All right,
Caddy said. She snuggled her head beside mine on the pillow.
Good night, Dilsey. Good night, honey,
Dilsey said. The room went black. Caddy smelled like trees. We looked up into the tree where she was.
What you seeing, Versh?
Phroney whispered. Shh. Caddy said in the tree. Dilsey said.
You come on here.
She came around the corner of the house.
Why ain't you all go on upstairs like your pa said, instead of slipping out behind my back? Where's Caddy and Quentin?
I told her not to climb up that tree, Jason said. I'm going to tell on her.
Who and what tree?
Dilsey said. She came and looked up into the tree.
Caddy.
Dilsey said. The branches began to shake again.
You Satan.
Dilsey said.
Come down from there. Hush.
Caddy said.
Don't you know Father said to be quiet?
Her legs came in sight, and Dilsey reached up and lifted her out of the tree.
Ain't you got any better sense than to let them come around here?
Dilsey said. I couldn't do nothing with her, Verse said.
What you all doing here?
Dilsey said.
Who told you to come up to the house?
She did.
Phroney said.
She told us to come. Who told you you got to do what she said?
Dilsey said.
Get on home now.
Phroney and T.P. went on. We couldn't see them when they were still going away.
Out here in the middle of the night.
Dilsey said. She took me up, and we went to the kitchen.
Slipping out behind my back.
Dilsey said.
When you knowed it's past your bedtime. Shh, Dilsey.
Caddy said.
Don't talk so loud. We've got to be quiet. You hush your mouth and get quiet then.
Dilsey said.
There's Quentin.
Quentin's mad because he had to mind me tonight.
Caddy said.
He's still got TP's bottle of lightning bugs. I reckon TP can get along without it.
Dilsey said.
You go and find Quentin, Versh. Roscoe say he's seen him going towards the barn.
Versh went on. We couldn't see him.
They're not doing anything in there.
Caddy said.
Just sitting in chairs and looking. They don't need no help from you all to do that.
Dilsey said. We went around the kitchen. Where you want to go now? Luster said. You going back to watch them knocking ball again? We done look for it over there. Here, wait a minute. You wait right here while I go back and get that ball. I done thought of something. The kitchen was dark. The trees were black on the sky. Dan came waddling out from under the steps and chewed my ankle. I went around the kitchen, where the moon was. Dan came scuffling along into the moon. "Benji," T.P. said in the house. The flower tree by the parlor window wasn't dark, but the thick trees were. The grass was buzzing in the moonlight where my shadow walked on the grass. "You, Benji," T.P. said in the house. "Where you hiding? You slipping off, I knows it." Luster came back. "Wait," he said, "here. Don't you go over there. Miss Quentin and her beau in the swing yonder. You come on this way. Come back here, Benji." It was dark under the trees. Dan wouldn't come. He stayed in the moonlight. Then I could see the swing, and I began to cry. "Come away from there, Benji," Luster said. "You know Miss Quentin going to get mad." It was 2 now, and then 1 in the swing. Caddy came fast, white in the darkness.
"Benji,"
she said.
"how did you slip out? Where's Versh?"
She put her arms around me, and I hushed and held her dress and tried to pull her away.
"Why, Benji,"
she said.
"what is it, TP?"
she called. The one in the swing got up and came, and I cried and pulled Caddy's dress.
"Benji, it's just Charlie. Don't you know Charlie?"
"Where's the nigger?" Charlie said. "What do they let him run around loose for?"
"Hush, Benji,"
Caddy said.
"Go away, Charlie. He doesn't like you."
Charlie went away, and I hushed. I pulled at Caddy's dress.
"Why, Benji,"
Caddy said.
"aren't you going to let me stay here and talk to Charlie a while?"
"Call that nigger," Charlie said. He came back. I cried louder and pulled at Caddy's dress.
"Go away, Charlie,"
Caddy said. Charlie came and put his hands on Caddy, and I cried more. I cried loud.
"No, no,"
Caddy said.
"No, no."
"He can't talk," Charlie said. "Caddy,"
"Are you crazy?"
Caddy said. She began to breathe fast.
"He can see. Don't.
Caddy fought. They both breathed fast.
Please, please."
Caddy whispered. "Send him away," Charlie said.
"I will."
Caddy said.
"Let me go."
"Will you send him away?" Charlie said.
"Yes."
Caddy said.
"Let me go."
Charlie went away.
"Hush."
Caddy said.
"He's gone."
I hushed. I could hear her and feel her chest going.
"I'll have to take him to the house."
She said. She took my hand.
"I'm coming."
She whispered. "Wait," Charlie said. "Call a nigger."
"No."
Caddy said.
"I'll come back. Come on, Benji."
"Caddy," Charlie whispered loud. We went on. "You better come back. Are you coming back?" Caddy and I were running. "Caddy," Charlie said. We ran out into the moonlight toward the kitchen. "Caddy," Charlie said. Caddy and I ran. We ran up the kitchen steps onto the porch, and Caddy knelt down in the dark and held me. I could hear her and feel her chest.
"I won't,"
she said.
"I won't anymore, ever. Benji. Benji."
Then she was crying, and I cried, and we held each other.
"Hush."
She said.
"Hush. I won't anymore."
So I hushed, and Caddy got up, and we went in the kitchen and turned the light on, and Caddy took the kitchen soap and washed her mouth at the sink hard. Caddy smelled like trees. I kept